Welcome back, everyone. Going to the second half here of Dropped Frames. So let's talk Surge 2, because this is one of those things I had meant to play, but Dragon Quest Builders took over my time. How is the Surge 2 demo? Early, what are they calling it? Early access? What is it?
Early look.
Early
Yeah, it
look.
was it was a special build they threw together where it was essentially the entire game, but they had in-game blockers to prevent your progress
Gotcha.
in multiple areas. Yeah.
Okay. Let me. There's some bosses in here, but it's the what? First three chapters, if I recall correctly from
First,
the.
I think first two chapters, they estimated 4 hours of gameplay. I of course got just over 8 hours out of it. But yeah, it was well, to put it bluntly, it was absolutely awesome. I'm one of the people that liked Surge 1. However, the overall interpretation of Surge 1 is that the combat was a little bit clunky, the story was a little convoluted and confusing, and most importantly, many people felt like the level design felt very cookie cuttery. Specifically, a lot of people that I felt like played for Surge 1 kind of would talk about the levels the same way you would as like a Warframe level, where it felt like a lot of big kind of rectangular kind of areas just kind of clunked together, and
Yeah.
then they sometimes put little connective tunnels between areas. But the level design was definitely talked about in the Surge one. The combat was very clunky. The systems were in some cases pretty cool, but relatively basic in a lot of ways. And it just had some pretty major issues. So Surge one unfortunately didn't really take off. After I spent 8 hours with the Surge 2, I can safely say that almost every bit of issues that Surge 1 had have been addressed in some way in 2. Combat is much quicker. Combos are more interesting. There's almost twice the amount of weapon types. There are much more fatalities. They've completely reworked the drone system. They've completely reworked the implant system. They've completely reworked the inventory system. They've reworked how you level up so you get tangible power for doing it. The levels feel organic and the levels feel awesome. You basically feel like you're fighting through a city that looks like it's been, there's been riots and dystopian stuff everywhere. The enemy variety is a lot better. The upgrade systems are more intuitive. You can actually break down higher tier parts into lower tier stuff now. The voice acting is a lot better. Just it's like they took all the criticism that people had from the Surge one and we're just like, oh, okay, we're just gonna fix all that. And here's Surge 2.
Yeah. Sounds like an improved sequel.
Yeah, it's not just an improved sequel. Like they really tried to make this game something special. Just from what I can tell in the little bit that I played it so far, like it like I said, almost every single system has been touched in some way.
I'm trying to remember, because I remember I played the first Surge and it was maybe like 2.5 hours, but I honestly I need to go back and watch what I thought to see what I said were my biggest complaints, because it might have just been like the movement. Like it didn't. The game never quite lived up to like the maybe the polish of a Dark Souls is what I want to
Yeah, well,
say.
the problem with Surge 1 is that it was inherently flawed. And the reason being is because they had these cool weapons in it and they had this relatively cool combo system, but the problem is they never really balanced that system versus the enemies. So what would happen in the Surge 1 is that if you ever tried to actually fight enemies like in a normal way, they would almost always attack you through your attacks. You'd get your health chunk down, and it got to the point where the only real kind of way to play Surge 1 sometimes is by dashing forward and attacking and then immediately dashing out. And that essentially became like the game for many people, where it's just like you get a strong weapon, you dash in, get a hit in, dash out. You dodge a couple attacks, dash in, dash out. And thankfully, Surge 2, they basically reworked all of that. So now you can actually do full combos. There's good reasons for doing full combos. There's actually a combo system this time around. So you actually see like the word combo pop up as you're doing like damage and stuff. There's threaded combos. So if you do some horizontal and some vertical, you'll get like, I can only do this a few times. I never even figured out how to do it, but you'll get like special keywords that pop up in combat, like wide sweep combo and stuff. It's very strange. Also, unlike the first game, there's lots of different ways to do stuff. So what I'm about to do here in this clip is I found a secret area, unlocked some drones. I then hacked those drones to then walk up to that boss you can see down there, and then it kills it. So I don't have to do it. So they put in a lot of stuff
Huh.
like that where you don't necessarily have to just like run down a corridor and just bash everything in with your biggest weapon. So it's a very different feel from the Surge one, where the Surge one felt like beginning A to B, kill everything that's there. You have one of like 3 bosses in the game, and then you're done. This one feels much more like a kind of semi-open world area that you kind of decide how you go through yourself.
Zeke?
Now, it looks. Are we listening to the? Oh, never mind. That's my bad.
Zeke's
Sorry.
having a stroke, guys. He'll get with it soon
my
in
computer.
just a second.
I forgot. I set my computer to do something, and there was a noise that happened.
Oh, by the way, while we're doing this, JP, if you want to jump around this, I used a bunch of different weapon types. So if people want to see like weapons and stuff.
Cool. Go ahead, Zeke. Stop having a stroke.
Sorry. Did anyone else taste pennies? It looks like it's one of my biggest problems. I'm trying to remember playing this game because I didn't play it for very long, but I did play it for a few hours. Is it just your weapon and armor choice that makes it look like it's running through molasses, or is it just a slower game? And if it is a slower game, does it feel like please speed up, or does it feel like okay, I'm a big heavy mech dude, it feels right?
There is weight to this one that I feel like the first game was missing in a lot of ways. There are also like this weapon I'm using here. There's a lot of weapons that have kind of some interesting new changes in this one. So what this is a dual. I think they call it either a split axe or a dual axe. And basically, if you just right button is horizontal and right trigger is vertical, and by swinging those together, you can create all sorts of different combos. But for this weapon, if you tap right button, you'll swing it as a two-hand weapon. If you spam right button, midway through the swing, right there, he'll split the weapon apart and start attacking super quick with 2 weapons. So based on how often you press the buttons in the combos and which buttons you do in which order, will actually unlock different things for those different weapons. And unlike the first game, there's like 10 different weapons this time around. 10 entirely different weapon types. And then inside of those are lines of weapons themselves. So another thing I noticed is a lot of weapons have like animations for when you're like charging them up and doing different things, which is really cool. Here's a whole bunch of different weapon types there.
Yeah.
But the short answer is you are a human wearing an exoskeleton of hunking metal. So you don't. I never really at any point felt like I was more agile than a normal person. I almost always felt a little slower. But in this one, not only does your character feel faster, but combat has been amped up significantly. So combat itself is a lot faster. And if you use like a dual rig weapon, like the two-handed weapons and stuff, like you're hitting like boom, 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 boom. It's not like you're just, boom, boom. You're not taking slow hits. Like you are going quick. There's even a new weapon type called punching weapons. And they actually have components that are independent of your fists. So like one of them is you basically punch forward, and the little thing at the end, it's like a power fist from Fallout. It goes dunk, 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 dunk. So it's like you have all these little hits and your big hits. So yeah, lots of little things to kind of make it feel faster. But at the end of the day, you are a guy hulking around in giant metal armor.
Yeah.
Right.
That's very much still there.
Just outside of combat, going from place to place, was it slow to the point of being annoying?
Not at all.
Not at all?
I didn't feel that way. I felt in Surge 1, it sometimes got that way, but the big thing with this one is the environments are so much better that it was a lot different traversing these areas in Surge 2. Everything is more organic. Everything looks unique. So like when you're walking through a dilapidated building, like all the rooms look totally different. It's not like Surge 1 where you get to like a workshop or area and you're just like, okay, cool, I've seen this like 10 times before. Like in this one, all the areas you go to are essentially like new, organic, uniquely destructed or constructed environments. So yeah, it made it a lot more engaging to run around and do stuff. You can also sprint, and the sprint is pretty fast. So yeah.
Yeah, you're not sprinting here though.
I don't know if I'm sprinting. I might be a little bit.
I don't see stamina being drained. Is that the?
I think my stamina actually, if I remember right, I think the stamina drains when it sprints. So I don't think it right now. It's hard to say without it right in front of me. That's just walking right there. And then there's a run you can do on top of that, and I think there may be a sprint on top of that. Chad will have to help me remember.
Okay.
Oh, no, also the drone has been... Go ahead.
I actually got a chance to see like you like split the axe and to see the attacks go like really
Yeah,
like
like it's doing
super
right there.
fast, like
Right
Yeah.
there.
this, you know, like this.
The living
So
meme
I mean,
that
I
is
like
Ezekiel the third.
right. No, I like the variety there because the first things I saw was like that big a big stick with like a blade, like a saw blade on the end of it or something. You're just going, "Brrr," and I was like,
Yep.
ooh, I hope it's not all
That
like
is
that.
the
'Cause, I mean, it has
slowest
its
weapon I
place. Don't
found.
get me wrong, that shit has its place. But I would like the variety of having to getting to choose if I want to like attack fast and stuff like that.
There's also
Now this
the
was this the game
There
that
we
you
go.
could like you would cut off arms and stuff to like get
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
Still,
Every
that
single weapon
same
has
mechanic?
unique fatalities. The whole point, like the point of the game, is essentially you come up to enemies like this guy, and the enemies are going to be either armored or unarmored for their components. And there's also a full parry system, which is amazing now. By the way, it's a directional parry system. Honestly, I might like it more than Sekiro, which I wasn't
Okay.
expecting. But they have like a full directional
Whoa.
parry system in the game, and it works great. But basically, the way that it works is you come up to an enemy, and an enemy has 5 different parts: the head, arms, and legs. And those parts are either armored or unarmored. And there's a new mechanic in this game where parts may have hidden components inside them. And those are indicated with like a plus or an asterisk. I never actually saw them before I got to the end of the demo. But if you cut those parts off, they give you like enhancements for your implants, implant upgrade components, all sorts of things. But essentially, you walk up to a guy. He is either fully armored or partially armored. And if you select an armored component, it has its own health pool aside from the enemy's health pool. If you get the health pool down on the armor, you can then do a fatality. And if you get that fatality, if you've never gotten that piece of armor before, you then get the blueprint for that armor. And if that component or piece you cut off had one of these little special indicators on it, you might get a new implant or component upgrade that way. So essentially, everything you see an enemy have, you can take and build yourself. And a lot of times, like if you want to get an armor set, it really involves going around and seeking out enemies that have the different parts. And you're like, okay, I've got that arm, I've got that head. Like, okay, I need to cut this guy's leg off. I need to cut this guy's torso off so I can get his body component. Also, any weapon that an enemy is using, if you select their right or left arm, whichever is their primary, and you then cut that off, you then get that weapon. If you already have the weapon, you then get upgrade components for that.
Like
tier.
100%,
What's
no
even
matter what.
cooler, yeah. And what's even cooler in this one is they have fundamentally changed how the drone system works. So instead, in the first one, the drone was just this little thing that you could kind of like pull with, and some had some rudimentary functionality, but nothing very good. In this game, the drone actually pops up behind you and hovers, and they're powerful. So guns in this game, which many enemies use, if you cut their gun off, you don't get the gun because there's no range weapons, but you get the gun mounted on your drone. So like this dude had this giant machine gun, and I cut the arm off with the machine gun, got that gun mounted on a drone. Now I can pop that out and fire off burst stuff, which will kill some enemies outright. You can also get grenades, Molotov cocktails. You can hack doors with it. There's a push-pull thing, like tons of little stuff. I just got one recently at the end of the demo that lets you like shoot these little shock drones at people, which will shock them and also open up these special drone doors. All sorts of stuff. But yeah, that's the new drone system is and kind of ties into the equipment system as well.
I will say, like, this is just a minor thing, but like,
You can see the tip of the spear, by the way.
I don't know if this is. Yeah, oh, that's pretty cool. I don't know if this is the way it is throughout the game, but it looks like they spent a lot of time like on the weapons and on the mech suit. But like the dude inside is like he's wearing like a pair of khakis, maybe some cargo pants.
That's
and,
what I remember from
like,
the Surge
a
one.
white
Yeah,
t-shirt. I'm just like, give him something cool to wear underneath.
I remember
shit,
that
'cause
as well
It
from
looks
Surge
like he
1.
just got off of work at like fucking Kmart or something. It's like, yep, better get into the mech, dude. Gotta do some killing.
There are some palpable lore reasons for what they're wearing in the games. So it's they're like, for instance, in the first Surge game, the dude with the jumpsuit, he actually went to get his implants put in, and right when he was going in there, this thing, well, the surge happened.
Right.
And basically, like, there were supposed to be medical personnel in there to strip him naked and everything. But what happened was the operation went through while he was still dressed. So he had all these mechanical components put over his clothes and then fused into his skeleton.
Yeah.
So in
I
other
remember
words,
that.
he's not changing shit. So that was one of the reasons, like in the first one, you couldn't really like switch out of it. Now this one is different. I don't know if they're going to offer cosmetic options for the underpart, but there are numerous armor sets in this one that cover your body entirely. Like there are these cops walking around that have like this crazy riot gear-esque looking active armor stuff. If you know what active armor in tanks is, it's like segmented squared armor explosives. So if they get hit with an explosive, it actually explodes the other direction to help like counterbalance it a little bit.
Right.
There's entire suits of chest armor that look like that. So there's all sorts of little things in this one that are different from the first one. But yeah, I will say that I don't think there were any opportunities for me to change my clothes in the demo though. So if that's a deal breaker, Zeke, it might not be for you.
No, I mean it's a fashion souls kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh, totally.
you get your favorite armor, and sometimes, like, I don't know if anybody else is out there like that. Like, I'll stick with an armor set that's probably not min max optimal
I'm the
because it
same
looks
way, dude.
fucking badass.
I'm totally the same way. Yeah.
Absolutely incorrect. I'm sorry, I completely forgot about this. In Surge 2, you create your character. In Surge 2, you pick what you wear at the beginning because you pick the background of your character. Maybe he was a worker. Maybe he was an office worker.
That's
Maybe he
kinda
was
cool.
somebody who had a medical malady. Maybe he was another guy. So if I'm not mistaken, I think
Party clown? Tell me
should
there's party
start with-
clown. I want a party clown with mech shit.
But no, in this one, you can be male or female. You actually have you can like completely change your character's head, beard, hair, nose, ears, like all this stuff you get to change in this
Okay.
one. You get to make your person in Surge 2.
How does it?
So-
You don't realize, like, as I don't know if game developers like realize like how important that is. How much of like it seems like something you can just overlook, but how many hours of enjoyment have I gotten from just character creation? Just little, like, a face
Well, it
that you'll
depends on the
barely ever
game.
see if they have like a helmet on.
It
But
depends
you
on the game,
At the
though.
but at the very
Like-
beginning, if there's character creation with detail, eyebrows, cheeks, the whole thing, I'll spend at least an hour doing it.
Sure. Yeah.
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 Like if anyone was watching that combat right there, that combat you wouldn't have seen in Surge 1. Like it's just everything is more reactive, everything is quicker. Like the parry system adds a whole new level. It just feels completely different. Also, some cool stuff about it. Like that's one of the parries. They added some very cool multiplayer components to this one. So first of all, you can leave spray paint, iconographic spray paint, all over the map. So you can put like loot this way, like a little loot bag with an arrow and like a warning sign
Oh,
or
that's
stuff
cool.
like that. You can actually leave spray paint for people. Also,
Oh, that's what
those
those were.
corpses show up. So every so often I'd be playing the demo and I would see like corpse of this person, and you can actually loot them for like some battery power and some scrap. And that also then triggers a revenge mob, which is like a harder version of the mob that killed that person, which you can then kill.
Oh boy.
There's also a drone you can get where when you use the drone, it puts down a big hologram of your character. For 60 minutes, everyone in the game that is playing, oh, boss! Ah, Jesus! Oh, Jesus! Oh, God!
That was like a wasp or something that flew down in front of his. Jesus Christ.
I hate wasps!
I do too, man. I don't
thought
blame
that-
you.
I thought that he was saying, like, for 60 minutes in the game, everybody else will be like, "Wow, fuck!"
No,
Okay,
that was a wasp
I'm
that flew
cool with
down.
wasps just buzzing around, but this dude flew in front of my face and made eye contact.
Yeah.
That's not cool. I'm not
That
cool
was
with eye
not
contact with
good,
wasps.
man.
Like, okay. All right.
Did
Anyway,
he fly away? What the fuck?
Did we see it?
I don't know where he went.
Man,
He's plotting his revenge.
I'm like getting anxiety for you. This is not a
Okay.
cool situation.
Anyway.
Did you see
I'm gonna
it,
just-
JP?
I did, yeah. It flew right in front of his
Okay.
fucking face. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. So, yeah, you can put down this little hologram, and for 60 minutes, that hologram will show up in other people's games. And within 60 minutes, the fewer people to find it gets you rewards in your game. So the point is that you try to hide
Hide and
this thing.
seek.
Try to get to locations that other people can't get to, or maybe you made a crazy jump or something, and then you pop that hologram down and you lure other people to try to get to wherever you did. So all sorts of little things like that. Like there's lots of little multiplayer fun enhancements, and that was just in the demo. I've been told there's more multiplayer connectivity stuff. There's not co-op,
Right.
or there's nothing like that, but there are multiplayer elements.
That's cool.
Honestly, the way and terminology they use for Surge 2 is very similar to how CDPR is talking about multiplayer stuff for Cyberpunk. So I'm kind of wondering, like, is this the kind of multiplayer stuff we're going to see in Cyberpunk? Because it's multiplayer, but it's not multiplayer, you know? So
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm so torn on this game. Only because, like, I see the combat and I see how the animations are so long. What are you freaking out about now? Oh, okay.
Oh God, is it bad?
No, I just paused it on your face when you first see it.
Oh Lord.
I mean, I wouldn't
So
even be in
good.
that room, so I applaud Co for sticking around. I would have fucking just left. Uh,
You
that
actually
is,
see the wasp?
yeah. Oh no, you
Yeah,
can. It flies in front
you
of your
can see
face.
it's a little black spot. Yeah, but you can see it. You can totally see it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I mean, I like I said, I got anxiety the second it happened, and I've been looking around the room the second it happened. I saw a bunch of people in chat do the same thing, for sure. I'll buy a new house for you.
Thank you.
We'll move today. I'll get you moved in today.
Don't
Yeah,
mess with wasps, man.
it's fucked up. I don't know why you would have wasp in your house. You should get that looked at. Yeah, the combat animations are they. I don't know, man. Like Dark Souls always just does it so right, and I know that's so cliche to say, but
They're sprinting.
yeah, I'll have to play it and judge for myself because it's one thing to like see you play it, and it's another thing to like actually be pressing the buttons and seeing how it works. That said, I think it looks like a vast improvement over the first one, which I think you have said multiple
Yeah.
times.
Even as somebody like there were times I was pretty rough on the first one, but like the improvements are palpable. Like you can tell Deck 13 made serious efforts to address the issues in the first game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just the levels alone like are so much better. It's good. It's real good. I can't wait for this game. This game is one of my most anticipated games right now.
Did you play Code Vein? You played that demo of Code Vein, right?
I did play the Code Vein demo. I enjoyed this a lot more than Code Vein.
Okay, because the Code Vein demo was pretty not rough, but again, the combat just didn't. It just felt clunky, is how I would describe it.
I'll tell you this: Code Vein combat reminded me so much of Surge 1 combat.
Yeah, I would agree with
where
that.
it was just like so clunky that you couldn't really work with it too well, and like you know dodging and stuff was just not very good. Like it Code Vein and Surge 1 have a lot of similarities.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Oh God, this fucking wasp! He's just taking over the show.
I captured it. The wasp is. You can see the wasp on screen.
Oh,
You see him?
there he is.
Get a shoe or something, man. Fucking take him out. Get some Raid. We'd like to talk about our sponsor this week, Raid. Shout out to sponsoring Drop Frames. Co is now going to use your product to kill the wasp in your room.
Yeah, as long as I can see him, I feel okay.
Man,
He's just
that's
killing right now.
Is
Oh,
there
on
like,
his own, man.
kill
He just
wasp.
gave me the finger.
yeah, it's probably true. Jesus, you don't want to take it out. You don't want to like go put a beer bottle on the top of it or something. Do you have a beer bottle handy? Don't hit it with the beer bottle. I'm saying like trap it inside. Don't just start chunking beer.
Why you
Lure it
got
in with the
bullseye
sweet
that
scent
with a
of
beer
beer.
bottle.
And see if I can cap it.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. As long as he doesn't move, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll keep you posted on Wasp Watch 2019.
Okay. All right. Let us know. Fuck.
Yeah, that was one thing. I used to work outside at a coffee kiosk, one of those little tiny huts,
Yeah.
serving coffee. And one of the things they told us was if you get wasps, you get yellow jackets because we have syrup, like
Sure.
sugary syrup and shit. So we got them quite a bit. And they were like, they made sure to tell us trap them, try not to kill them,
Right.
because if you kill them, they release like this pheromone or this smell that tells other wasps like
It has other
this
wasps
is
to trap
where
it.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I have heard that as well. Fucking wasp, man. Fucking wasp. Zeke, let's do Indie Sunday so Co can perhaps do something about the wasp.
Yeah, go ahead and do it any Sunday. I'm gonna address this situation. I'll be right back.
By all means.
Okay.
By all means.
Yeah, no problem.
6 hours. You did 3 games. Oh, you actually, fuck yeah, you played a bunch of games. I'm curious then. We'll start with this one.
Okay.
This
Which one
one
was
being Break the Game.
Yes, Break the Game. Okay, Break the Game was not what I thought it was going to be. I thought Break the Game was going to be more like not like Welcome to the Game, but like fourth wall breaking more so.
Right.
Like more like meta, like Stanley Parable kind of stuff. Like that would be the point of the game. It's definitely fourth wall breaking, like because the little thing talks to you. The little square guy talks to you the whole time, but it's not like it's a straightforward game. Meaning there's certain parts of the game where you find like this secret entrance or whatever, and it has this like these little signposts that say, "Don't touch this. Don't touch this. It'll crash the game. Don't touch it." And you touch it, and it crashes the fucking game. And it gives you like an error message and stuff like that. It's the sense of humor in it is great. It's funny as hell. You die, you come down here. There's the devil, and then there's this lady Lady Cube who stands by the devil. I can't remember her name, but yeah, you got the Cube Devil, and you've got her, whatever her name is. You're in leaked memory, basically.
Jesus.
Karen, that's her name. It's Karen. And this is where you come when you die, and then when you die, you start back where you like. I'm not sure if it's the beginning of level or where you died, but you get
Checkpoint or
recreated
something.
basically, and yeah, you start back at a checkpoint. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really is fun about it is just the dialogue, the sense of humor. It's not voice acted, but the lines, the script of the game is very, very funny. I really enjoyed it. The character talks to you, calls you player, and then eventually he says, "I'm tired. I can't just call you player anymore. Let's come up with a nickname for you. How about Banana?" So for the rest of the game, he calls you Banana. So that's like kind of the sense of humor. It's a little absurd, a little ridiculous, goofy, I think would be a good way to describe it. But it's everything good? Got that?
We got him.
Got him? Good job.
There we go.
But the game is not it's not super difficult. It's your basic platformer game. It does have like shooting aspects of it. It's not super difficult because when I was playing it, I was like fighting a boss fight, and I would die. I just go back to the boss fight and try again. Like there was no it wasn't super punishing for when you died.
Gotcha.
What is the EDF? What is it? Oh,
Earth Defense
right.
Force, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure, because they kill bugs.
Yeah.
Okay, Banana, let's find Jeff. See, that's like calls you that from that on. But you get little power-ups as you go on. Like you get a double jump, you get a machine gun, and then like if you find these little secret areas, Jeff basically tells you like don't go back there because the secret area will make you restart. And then I looked at the error code because it'll give you like an error code when the game crashes.
Right.
You have crashed the game, and then because it's meant to happen, obviously, because they put it right in the game and it's an obvious thing. And when it crashes, it gives you a little error code, and it says, "We're this was not meant to happen. We're really sorry." And then if you go into the error log in the actual game, it has information for you. Like I tweeted out to the game dev. Where is it?
Is that the one that had the guy's email in it?
Yeah. Yeah, error catched. Hard crash. This is absolutely not planned. No, this is not part of the game. Print screen this and send to Simon, blah, 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 at gmail.com. I'm so sorry. But in the original crash message, like when it crashes, not in the log file, it says tweet at insanity_games_. And so I tweeted at him and I said, "Fix, please." And he said, "You did not listen to Jack." Like Kevin from Insanity Games says, "You did not listen to Jack." And Jack was the one who was telling you, "Don't touch that square, it'll crash your game." Like he was texting you throughout the game. I said, "I did not listen to Jack." I said, How could I not touch the secret box I found?" And then he tweeted back, "Because Jack was very worried that the game would crash, and look at us now, screaming at each other. You think this is what Jack would want?" And I'm having an actual
That's
conversation
cool.
with the game dev. It was pretty neat.
Huh.
Yeah, and it happened during my cast. People were like, "He answered you, dude." I went, "What?"
Yeah.
He
No,
answered me?
you're
Like,
past Zeke just popped it up on the VOD that we were just watching.
did? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
It was right on cue.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's a fun little game. It's called Break the Game. Let's see.
$9.99 Dev and
Oh, you looked
published
it up?
by Simon Fredholm is the name.
Yep.
Came out on July
I
15th.
see him. Simon Fredholm. Yeah. The premise of the game is, you're trying to get this cube, like out of the game. Like you're trying to get him, like he's a sentient cube, and you're trying to get him to escape from this like prison that he's in.
Right. Right. Cool. Next game. This is actually the one that I was really interested in because this popped up at like some convention that we watched or something. It's Night Call. We've seen this before, and now I guess it's out. How is it? How is Night Call?
Yeah, released July 17th of this year, so like it's been out for a week.
Okay.
Night Call. I'll just read the blurb, the Steam blurb. Night Call: friend, confidant, therapist, voyeur. As a cab driver working the Paris night shift, you are many things to different people. Your gift is getting people to talk, and in order to catch a serial killer who left you for dead, that's exactly what you'll need to do. And that's kind of where the game starts off. Like if you take the basic starting quest, because you can start in different quests, and they have a difficulty scale as well. 3 difficulty scales. I just started at the normal difficulty, and I started on the very first quest that they suggest you take as a like an introduction or a tutorial. The thing I love about this game, the writing, like the dialogue. It's not voice acted. So I was saying all the lines, but the writing of it is so good. It's so good. It's so deep and rich and noir.
Jeez.
And it's emotive. It conjures up all these images. Like these people that you pick up all have their own like deep storylines. You can like kind of get that from them because they give you like little pieces. This is one of the first ladies I picked up, and she's like either insane or an artist or like she's very eccentric, but you're not sure exactly why, or if she's like out of her mind, or if she's just like a really like eccentric artist person, because she's writing in air about like this poem, and she's like speaking the poem as she's like kind of like imagining writing it and stuff like that. But the poem is like the language they use is very it seems very specific. Like they chose the exact right words that they wanted to use. I will say this game is not for there's like very little, if any, gameplay or action. There's gameplay. It's more like Telltale gameplay though. It's like,
is it voice
choices,
acted? You might have already said
dialogue
this.
choice. No voice act. No voice act.
Fuck. Okay.
The background music is good though. It's light, jazzy, that kind of stuff. It's
Sure.
it's unobtrusive, but sets a very cool tone for the game.
Gotcha.
Now, Zeke, this normally wouldn't be a game that I would like. I would say that I would like, but what they do in the game, they do it so well. The picture of like look at the character model of her in the back seat there, and look at me in the front seat.
Yeah.
That conjures up like emotions immediately.
Sure.
You're immediately like, why is her like the bags in her eyes? Why is she like tilting her head? Why does she have her hands like that? And you're like the shadowy figure in the front, just listening to all of these stories. The premise of the game is you were attacked by a serial killer, and you're the only one to survive the meeting with him.
Jeez.
So you live through it, and you get out of the hospital, and you go back to work, and you drive your cab around, listen to people's story to get clues as to anybody who's seen the serial killer, where they might operate, what they might look like, and that kind of stuff. And then you get this like conspiracy board that you put everything up on. You put like your 5 suspects up on there, and you have like strings tied to like times and events and descriptions and that kind of stuff. And I barely scratched the surface. And if you're thinking like it's not super straightforward, like, or super
linear.
No, there's some fantastical elements to it, meaning at one point in time, you pick up a cat as a cab fare, and you talk
Okay.
to the cat.
It's not
and the
grounded
cat,
in
like,
reality.
yeah, exactly. There you go. The cat meows when you're right,
I talk to
and
cats. It's
like
fine.
that kind of stuff, and it leaves you like it actually pays for its cab fare, like it has it in its collar or something, and it asks you to like it gives you like a note saying where it wants to go, and then it like leaves you money, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
man, it's really atmospheric, really well written. Um, I would say that if you don't like reading and this doesn't appeal, like it would be fucking boring to you
Sure.
if you don't like that kind of shit. If you're not in the mood to like, you know how sometimes like you got this novel that you're like, man, I should probably read this, but you got to be in the mood to read it. Same kind of thing. Like
Makes
you got to
sense.
be in the mood to play this game.
Okay.
I had kind of like a preconceived notion of what I thought it was going to be, and then when I went into it, it changed my mind. I enjoyed the fuck out of it.
Cool.
It's $19.99 on Steam, developed by Monkey Moon and Black Muffin, published by Raw Fury. And Raw Fury's done, like, they published quite a bit of stuff
Yeah.
in the past. Let's see, they published stuff like Dendara and Goner, Tormentor,
Yep.
Tormentor X Punisher, shit like that. So they're a pretty big publishing house, but the Monkey Moon and Black Muffin are the devs of the game, and it is, if you're into story rich shit, it's a great game.
Cool. Cole, you were going to ask a question. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, but he actually answered it.
Oh, perfect. Cool.
We're good.
That's weird
What? That's weird that you answered it.
that I answered a question before he asked it.
Oh, you're just you know the right things. Reventure was the final game that you played
This
on stream.
fucking game is fantastic. I fucking
Is it a
love this
roguelike?
game.
I would imagine with a name like Reventure, it has to be, right?
Well, the object of the game is
Did I spell
to
that right?
find the 100 different ways to die, and it's
You must be great at that, Zeke.
that's why I had so much fun. This game is great. Okay, see this fridge right here? This fridge is important
Okay.
because this is the Twitch integration. Anybody can type join, and then that's the name of your adventure until you die, and then you go back to the fridge, and you do it again, and you just 3, 2, 1, go. And I picked Inbound Killjoy is the new Kingdom hero, so that's your name.
Wait, this is a game where you get to kill chat?
Yes,
All right.
pretty good.
I'm gonna sit up
Pretty
for
good.
this one.
Here's the thing about this game. This game is fucking hilarious. The ways you die, like, and they give you like these little different outfits, like, there's reasons why you have all these different outfits. There's secrets everywhere, like little secret tunnels, little secret passageways everywhere. These hints that you get are why didn't I pick that up? Oh, there we go. These hints that you get tell you defy authority. That's another death that you can perform. That's the 4th death you can perform. Defy authority. I wonder what that means. Oh, there's castle, there's guards. Well, maybe we kill a guard or something. That kind of thing. Like the number one death, the number one thing is when you die, when you find a death, you start over at the
Right.
very beginning. But they give you like this little like 1 paragraph backstory after you die, to tell you like Inbound Killjoy found the guard's attitude to be frustrating, so he stabbed him and murdered him in cold blood in front of the entire kingdom, and the kingdom rejoiced because that guard was a jerk. And then it says like 3 days later, you wake back up in your bed, having like, I don't know, recovered from your spear injuries from the guard or whatever. But it has like little asides like that, like every time.
Huh.
It's the sense of humor and is fucking fantastic. And you like you get used to seeing certain screens over and over because when you die, you go back to the beginning. You die, you go back to the beginning. Die, you go back to the beginning. Like if you and one of the other cool little things is like I died by like this is one of the developers, game developer. I am one of the creators of this world. And guess what? Oh, do it. Guess what? You die. And killing him opens up a palette. I thought that was gonna be one of my like deaths because a lot of times when you kill people in the game, like actual people and not monsters, someone will see you, and that will be the end of it.
Right. Is there fall damage? Did you die from fall damage?
I don't want to spoil anything because there's lots of deaths in this that I don't want to spoil because they're fucking hilarious because sometimes you don't see them coming.
Probably like this one. Please. No, you're good. Never mind.
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
But every death you have, as long as it's not a repeat, has a brand new like. If you die by like falling in lava, which is I'm not spoiling anything there because if you fall in lava, you die. When you come back, you're like this pixelated, skinned and burned version of yourself. That's like the way it goes. Like if you die to a certain other thing, you come back like you play as a zombie. And you get power ups as the game goes on. So there's different ways. Like you can get like a fishing pole, a grappling hook, a shield, a sword, and all of them. They either help you get to other places where you can die, or they're directly responsible for your death. Like when you get the shield, you don't realize it, but getting this. Oh, here's the death right here. I accidentally jumped into a wrong pool of water. Maybe Inbound Killjoy couldn't read the sign. Maybe he didn't know what a piranha was. Maybe he was just an idiot. What he surely was, piranha food.
Nice.
Yep. Ending 7 of 100. Go swimming.
It's pretty good.
Wow.
And then he'll wake up and he'll be 2 weeks later, and it shows you how many people made it this far, or how many people got that particular death or whatever.
Oh.
The guard found Inbound Killjoy's body next to the lake and moved it home. His lucky hat was lost somewhere, so now everyone will realize his outstanding baldness. So when I get back, he doesn't have a hat and he's fucking bald. Like that shit. Like that's one of the things.
Okay.
Like every time you die and come back, there's something like new about it. It's great. It's a fantastic game. I had so much fun. Reventure is the name of the game. In case you can't read on the bottom left hand corner there. It is $7.99. Fucking awesome. It came out June 4th, so it's been out for almost 2 months now. By
That's awesome.
Pixelato. Developed and published by Pixelato. It's a fucking hoot. And if you stream it, it's even better because then you get a kill chat. Like every time I died, I went back to the fridge and had a new person in chat. So by the time I think I killed I want to say at least 20, if not 25 different members of chat.
Oh. So they can happen pretty frequently then. It's not just something you're kind of
yeah. It's like it can be like 20 seconds to like 5 minutes and then
Sure.
you die and you find another one.
Cool. That's currently overwhelmingly positive, both recent reviews and all reviews, with about 1,400 on it. So, seems like
I would absolutely give it a positive review.
Yeah, cool. I think that was it. Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Was there? Yeah. Okay, that's it for Indie Sunday. Cool. Let me see. Was there any other games that we wanted to talk? I don't think I have anything else. Zeke, you played some Super Mario Maker. If we want to spend a little bit on that.
I did. I played a day of Mario Maker.
How was that? How's old Mario doing?
It was great. It was fun. I had a lot of fun. I thought it was nice to like get all of chat suggestions and have like my mods help me out with like a spreadsheet of all of the all the levels and stuff. But here's the thing: if a level was too hard, I went.
Well, I picked
fuck you. You know I'm not that good. Don't put these requests. I'd be rated anybody who would put like a super like Panga level in there.
Well, I've got just the clip to show here in the VOD that I found. So this is anxiety-inducing level, right, coming up.
However, I did have a lot of fun playing viewer-made level.
Yeah,
that is always fun. If I could do that for an entire broadcast, I would do that because I love playing viewer-made levels and then yelling because I can yell directly at them at how stupid or hard their levels are.
Right.
And it's great. It's a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
one of the levels that someone made me was like a real brain teaser. Like I couldn't fucking figure it out. I never finished it. I was like, I'm taking too long on this. I want to like show off. I want to see other levels. But I would like if I was sitting alone by myself, like I would definitely like fucking sit there and puzzle out how to beat this level.
This is a pretty famous level that I stumbled
this
upon
one, yeah.
in the VOD.
Yeah.
0.01% clear rate with almost 400,000 tries. It's a doozy. It's a nightmare fueled level of just anxiety and not fun times. You're dead.
Look at that, I died.
Good Lord. Have you seen this before, Co? Have you seen this level in particular?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Man.
I've seen
This was all over Reddit for a while.
Did his like Trihex clear? I haven't seen any actual clears of this other than the video that was posted. Is there? Do you know, Zeke, if anyone's actually fully clear? Like, fuck, this just seems terrible.
Oh no, I saw like on Twitter immediately after this game came out.
Yeah.
Like someone posted an entire video, like a video of people clearing it.
Man.
So from what I understand, the level was designed from the back forward. So it's the kind of thing where there is literally a line that you can draw
Follow.
for the entire level, kind of like a maze, how you work your way back. And you just basically have to follow that line. Every other place equals death unless
Crazy.
you follow the one line that the creator intended. It's a pretty amazing level, to be honest. Like,
Oh
it's,
God.
I don't think
yeah, watching the
anybody's cleared
clear
it.
run of that was something, man.
I don't think anybody's ever cleared it. Actually, I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, they have.
I don't-
There was a Reddit gift
I
going
don't.
around.
No, I don't think people have actually cleared it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, God help me out. Has someone cleared it?
I don't. Chat was saying no one's cleared it yet.
I don't know,
so,
man.
Yeah, that must be true.
Yeah,
Then.
chat's agreeing with me. They don't. They said they are not saying anyone cleared it.
Yeah. That's right. The sun's in this game. I want to try to find like actually levels that are not just fucking ridiculous. That's the issue with this game that I think a lot of people have. Is it's a great game to watch, but if you start playing and you go to like an expert course level, people just make levels that are not fun for the average player. They just make fucked up, like unbelievably difficult levels where it's like, I don't want to spend $60 just. If I wanted to hate myself, I'd go play Overwatch, right? Like I don't want to
There are
play
plenty
a
of
fucking
games out there for me to hate myself.
yeah. I don't want to play like a rage-inducing platformer where everyone's just out there to try to make you feel miserable. And so I think the most like it's exactly what you said. The most fun that an average person can get out of this is like play your friends' levels, like make levels for each other. And I think as long as you guys are not just outright blatant assholes in your creations, it's probably going to be a pretty good time.
No, there were some like moderately difficult but clever levels that I really enjoyed. And what I didn't know is like, 'cause I'm just barely dipping my toe into the Mario Maker community, and it's deep.
Yeah,
Like this is
yeah.
a deep, deep ocean. What I didn't know was like when I popped into a level and I was like running along, and then like a thwomp came down from like I couldn't see it, and it fell down. And people in chat were immediately like,
Laughing.
"Fucking lame level, fucking skip it, skip the level, it's fucking lame." I was like, "What? It was a troll, no big deal." And they're like, "Yeah, there's whole levels that are like that, and we skip those because." Like here it is,
Yeah.
right there, boing. Yeah, right there.
It's like, what is that?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I was like, "That's funny." I don't mind. I don't mind being trolled. It doesn't bother me. But they're like, "This level's gonna suck like, the whole way through." And there's the invisible block. Yeah. See, I like it. I don't mind that shit. People just like hate it though. They lose their shit about it.
Probably for the reasons I just said. I would suspect.
Well, it's because like this is the same reason why like as much shit as I give Bashi, I want to be the Bashi. I
Right.
fucking loved playing it. It was a lot of fun.
I
Like
get
all
it.
the way through. Like there was trolly shit all the way through it, and I enjoyed that stuff. I liked like going to a place and being like, "Ah, fuck, what's gonna happen to me? Ah, shit, I know if I'm gonna jump. Yep, fucking spike out of nowhere. Fucking great." But I like that feeling. I like being surprised by that shit. But apparently, like Mario Maker people are like, This is bullshit. This is a dumb level.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine when you have like millions of levels, you don't want to like find one that just outright trolls you. Yeah. Well, cool. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
$60, $50, $60 for the game? Something like that. Probably full price game, I would imagine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally.
Is this a game you think people should pick up on the Switch just to play it? Or do you think it's like, this is a game you recommend to a certain type of person, a certain type of video game player?
People, if you like any kind of Mario game, you'll like this. If you like platformer games,
Okay.
this is probably not a game that I don't see myself really playing it on my own, but it's because I'm more of a story heavy kind of player, and this has no story, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, it has the story mode, right?
Right.
Sure, but like Mario games, like how heavy is the story really? But yes, it's absolutely fully 100% worth it to anybody who loves Mario or platforming. I had a blast with it with the one cast that I did of it, and if I can have fun with it, then you can have like oodles and hours.
Yeah, someone in chat.
I didn't even try the making aspect of it, 'cause I don't give a fuck about that.
Right. Someone in chat had a great comment, I think. For classic Mario fans, it's $60 for essentially unlimited levels. So yes, it's worth a buy. That seems pretty solid when it comes to the purchasing.
The only limit is your imagination.
Right. Cool. I'm glad that one of us checked that out, because there has been some zeitgeist around that game for sure that people are super excited about. I think that's it. Ko, was there anything else that you played that we should? I don't think there's anything else I played. Let me look.
I think that's it. And next week should be pretty quiet as well. Next week we have, let's see, in terms of releases, We Happy Few DLC is coming out. Anyone that likes that. Oxygen Not Included gets its full release on the 30th.
I saw someone
cool.
playing that. I think Anne was playing that. I think is who I saw checking that out. Yeah.
We also have the Mutant Year Zero DLC is coming out on the 30th. Me and Zeke may be doing that with the new character and everything. And also we have Astral Chain coming out next week.
What? That's next week? Jesus, fucking Nintendo Switch is getting all the games. Fire Emblem.
I actually may be playing that one. Yeah.
Dragon Quest, Astral Chain, yeah. Huh.
Oh no, this week is we've got Wolfenstein. I know I'm playing Wolfenstein tomorrow with a lot of other people too, and then Fire Emblem is Friday.
Yeah. I hope that Wolfenstein game is good.
Me too.
We'll see.
I've heard it's short, which is a little concerning.
Yeah. Are there reviews out for it yet? Do you know?
I've seen a few previews, but the embargo is tomorrow morning at 8:00 for big stuff.
Okay, so reviews will hit then.
8:01, which is interesting. They
well, you don't want to be confused between 7:59 and 8:01 a.m.
I know,
PM,
right?
Like,
oh yeah. I'm gonna be checking out first thing. So the second that embargo's up,
Cool.
I'm diving in with Barry, our local bot guru.
Nice.
And me and him are gonna co-op through that and see how it goes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm curious for that. And then Fire Emblem, like we were talking about the start of the show, for Friday. I hope that we're singing its praises next week. Let's do some questions here from Crazy Dan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Astral Chain is August 30th.
I started to say that's pretty quick, especially with like I figured they would put some time.
My bad.
Between that and Fire Emblem, but that makes a little bit more sense.
My fault.
Yeah. All right. Question number 1 from Crazy Dan. With so many people joining Twitch nowadays, there are more and more new streamers joining the platform and trying to make a name for themselves. Some of which even get lucky enough to be on a show such as yours. My question is, when selecting an upcoming streamer as a guest for Drop Frames, what sort of criteria does said guest streamer have to meet before they ever receive an invitation?
Oh,
there's no rules.
I'll go ahead and answer this. Really, it's the only rules are reach. If they need to have a large population to bring to JP's channel, that's honestly all we really look for. We need more eyes, more viewers, more subs to
bigger,
JP.
better, and more badass.
Just completely random side question. Is your Twitch Prime token up? Because I know somebody who could use it. Wait, that way. There we go. Well, actually, this way too.
I mean,
Both ways.
Both.
There we go.
Really, we could all just
Oh, wait,
point
no,
fingers at everyone.
Right, here we go.
Yeah, we
There
can
it
just
is.
point fingers everywhere.
Okay. No, but yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
I
there's
don't think
no criteria. We don't really have like
Yeah.
a. It's literally like, hey, there's a game coming out this week. Is there someone we should talk to? No? All right. And this is in my head. They don't ever hear this conversation. Every once in a while, I'll be like, hey, do you guys, is there anyone we should get on? And they're like, well, Wednesday starts and the show begins. So no,
I'd
there's
say-
not really a criteria.
85% of the shows are JP saying we're having this person on. About 10% of the shows are me and Zeke maybe suggesting people or us all suggesting people in the group chat. And then 5% of the shows are JP being very lazy and just being like, I'm not even going to ask anyone this week. See y'all.
Wait, that's only 5%?
Good point. More like 15 to 20.
I would say it's like 85%. The last one, 10% is me finding a guest, and then it's 5% you guys suggesting someone to be on. That's probably what it'll be. Yeah.
I love these shows without guests, so I'm fine with
Yeah, I mean, my honest thoughts are: do we need a guest on to talk about something? Because the three of us don't know what the fuck we would say about it. Most of the time, that's no, because we all have we cover a pretty wide breadth of games on Twitch.
A lot of times it's like bringing in a specialist.
Yeah.
Like if there's something big going on or a game coming out that none of us are really extensively into, but we know that that you guys would want to hear like more personal, more in-depth answers on things. That's generally when we pull people in.
Yep. And then every once in a while, if I know that games are light and someone's been playing a game, I'll kind of go to our closet of guests that we've had on before: Bike Man, Jericho, Gas Mexican Strippin', like that whole group that you've seen multiple times throughout our 201 episodes now. But yeah, in terms of like criteria for new guests, there's not really one. I think generally the type of person that shows up on the show are people that I know will have a rapport with us, and not necessarily someone that will create an awkward air around the show. I think I have a pretty good judge of that after doing this for like 10 years. I would like to think I have a good judge of that. So
I will say you've never brought a person on that I think has made me or Zeke feel uncomfortable.
That's good. That's good to hear. Yeah. And we try to stay away from like the controversial subjects as frequently as possible, just because I don't think this is not the show for that type of stuff, and it's never really has been. Every once in a while, we'll dip our toes into it if it's big enough or important enough to mention, but for the most part, we'll just make our snide jokes about it and move on. We don't really touch on it more than that.
Little shitty, little shitty asides. Is like,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yep, that's pretty much how that goes. So, yeah, that's question one. Unless, do you guys have anything to add to that?
No, I think that's I think knowledge and personality are like the biggest things that you look for in any guest, and especially something like this little. That's a question I wanted to ask you guys.
Hit me.
You guys call this a podcast?
I don't know what I
Theoretically, it is. Anything that you send off as a small audio show. Like a good way to think about it is like there used to be radio shows, and then when radio shows became like personally sent out, then basically radio shows became podcasts. So if it is audio only and you can throw it around as a file and it's a show, then basically that's a podcast.
Yeah, I think.
Then again, everyone and their mother has a podcast, so
I think I've always referred to it as a show. Just like a very general term, like it's a show that I produce and host, I think is the words that come out of my mouth the most when talking to people for the first time about it. Yeah, podcast is just, like Co said, it's I mean, so is show.
Buzzword, man. It's a buzzword.
Yeah.
I mean, I was calling it a talk show for a long time, but I just started calling it a podcast just because it's descriptive and everybody knows what that is.
Yeah.
Even if it's on video, it's like there's a lot of people out there who just listen.
Right. Yeah, I think like to jump into the analytics, I think live audience trumps VOD viewers and MP3 listeners. So in that, I've always said show. If it was a
That's
audio,
a good call.
an audio thing that generated like the most analytics, I would say like, yeah, it's a podcast. Is kind of how I've always looked at it, I guess.
Yeah, in this case, there's a visual and live component to it, so that certainly would make this more than a podcast. What we're doing right now, it like becomes a podcast later when you start disseminating it.
Right. Yeah. We
to the
turned it
map.
into one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But I show is a much better word. I'm with you on that.
Yep.
I realize it's kind of like asking a band to describe their like what genre. It's like, you guys play rock and roll? It's like, no, man, we have like our own little genre of like we play like alt funk, trap, rap.
That's how I would describe Drop Frames, the alt funk trap rap.
Yep.
It's good. It's good. Second question. I was going to ask whether or not you would ever do a Final Fantasy 14 main story quest, story discussion show on this channel in the future, but it seems to me that most of your fandom show covers a more broader spectrum for things like this. Things such as Final Fantasy as a whole, which I know you've done before. My question is, do you have... I like how these are becoming... There's like a formula to how you ask the question. I like it. My question is, do you have any other particular fandom episodes planned for the future? And more importantly, does anything else go into your decision? Oh, this is the one that you asked twice. Fuck. Let's just read the end of it. Do you have any more fandoms episode planned for the future? And more importantly, does anything else go into your decision about who to have in a fandom episode other than your personal knowledge on the subject? I think there's a lot of credit being given to me in terms of how I plan things, because there's not really much planning in the grand scheme of things. It's generally like, hey, there's the end of the Marvel stuff is coming out. Maybe we should talk about that, because that'd be kind of a cool thing to talk about. Let's put a show around that. And then we did a show. It's generally, I mean, that's how this show started. Hey, we should talk about video games because I'd like to have 8-bits is stopping, so maybe we should find another thing to talk about video games. Okay, well, let's ask these two guys, see if they want to talk about video games. And then they did, and here we are.
No. It actually went, let me ask these two guys if they want to join me and do this show. They said no. Let's get Ko and Zeke then.
No, I've always said you guys, haven't I always said you were my first choice? Because I'm pretty sure I don't think I offered it to anyone else.
No, I think Day 9 was your first choice, right?
I think that was the first mental choice, but not the first person I asked, if that makes sense.
I got lucky because me and you talked about what the show was going to be. Like, I remember when we were just throwing around like what this would, like we were coming up with names for it and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
that was a long time ago, man.
Yeah, it was 201 fucking episodes ago.
Every time I read one of these, just a little side note. Every time I read one of these crazy Dan questions that's really long,
yeah,
and then it gets to the end,
mm-hmm.
like, and the actual questions at the end, like halfway through it, I just want to be like a judge, like, is there a question in there, counselor?
That's what I was saying. There's a formula. He's got like a little formula going in terms of how
he's got the backstory. He's got the setup.
Yeah.
And then he drops the hammer at the end.
Yeah. It's
like he creates the picture and then
it's good.
Titles it with the final question.
Exactly.
I like it, Dan. Don't change.
Mm-hmm. So no, there's not very much that goes into my decision in terms of how to do or when to do a fandom episode, other than personal knowledge.
When was the last time you did that?
For the MCU, when when Endgame came out. Or after Endgame came out is what it was. It was me, Rami, Bronze, and Strippin, I think, about 3 months ago.
You still do those on a regular basis then?
It was Jesse. It was Jesse, yeah. Regular basis is a term you could use. I don't know if it applies.
Oh.
They're totally random. I've found that like doing more than the two, if we have a full week, then it's 2 roleplay episodes and drop frames, which is basically kind of like 3 days out of 7 to where they're filled. So if I added in, a weekly episode of fandom or a weekly episode of something else, then it's just more days that kind of get taken away from me actually just being able to play games. And so I enjoy playing games, believe it or not. And so I kind of structured it that way. Because just the more stuff that I add in, the less time that I have to just enjoy video games. So I just do them whenever I feel like doing them. Luckily, that works out.
Gotcha.
All right, third question. You discussed Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 earlier in the show, and it reminded me of my days whenever I would play X-Men Legends 2 with my buddies back in the day. Was that the game that you were referencing, Zeke? X-Men Legends 2? Was that the arcade game?
No.
That was
You're talking about the fighting ones, right? Like X-Men versus
Arcade.
Street Fighter. Those games.
No, there was like a story-based side-scroller X-Men game back in the day that had a giant arcade cabinet at the movies.
Oh!
The movies. I don't know why I said
With
that.
two screens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God,
you
you'd be
You could
Nightcrawler.
have 6 players. Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called.
Everyone
played that,
wanted to be
though.
I think it was just called X-Men, like X-Men Arcade.
That might be right. Yeah,
Because it was based off of, I think it was based off of the cartoon.
that sounds correct. That was a good game.
You have to fight one of those giant robot guys. Oh, dude,
The
that game was
Sentinels,
so
yeah.
good.
Sentinels were
Yeah,
good.
dude.
I loved it. Because, well, back in the day, dude, it was like that game, Ninja Turtles, and The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Were like the
Simpsons,
fucking
man. I wasted so many
best
quarters on
goddamn
that.
games, man.
Yeah, I wasted
Oh.
so many quarters on that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it had some of the best lines. Like, didn't have "Welcome to Die," "Welcome to Die,"
Yeah.
and then it was like, "Nothing stops the blob."
I can still hear
remember,
those.
like, clearly in my head.
I can hear those fucking sound bites right now. The question goes on, in your personal opinion, what is the best Marvel beat 'em up game out there? And then while we're on the subject, what is everyone's favorite beat 'em up game out there, period? What is the... I mean, I guess like the 3 you just mentioned, like Simpsons,
Battletoads.
X-Men, Battletoads. Yeah.
I'm a Battletoads guy. I hated it, but I loved the rage.
I'm trying to decide if Battletoads is a good game.
No, it's not. Let me help you out right now. It's not. It's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
You got any Gauntlet bros out there? Gauntlet? No? No one?
Gauntlet was
Dude,
good.
I played with Adam in Japan. What was the game, guys? If you guys remember, it was a Dungeons and Dragons game.
Chronicles of
that I
Mystara.
played. Maybe that's what it was, but it was a side-scrolling. It was a beat 'em up.
Yep. Yeah, I have that on the machine upstairs. That's the one game that I played the most of out on that arcade. That main.
Oh my god,
main
that
cabinet
game!
got.
I never played it before. I had never played it before. I went to Japan, I went to Tokyo, and played it with Adam. And I was like, "This game is fucking awesome!" And it had like so many different like things you could do.
It had classes
Like, I had
and
no
everything,
idea, like
man.
all the power-ups and all the the familiar spells and items and all that shit. It was great.
Those games, Zeke, are on Steam, and it does have multiplayer in it.
They're on fucking why?
Yep. I actually, believe it or not, I have those games because I bought a 4-pack to play with Dodger, Strippin, and Jesse, and they never actually played. So if you want it, I could just gift you a copy right now. 'Cause I'm pretty sure it's still on my Steam list.
Is it Mysteria?
It's Mystara.
Mystara. There it is. Dungeons and Dragons Chronicles of Mystara.
Yeah. Yep.
Get the fuck out of here.
And the multiplayer works.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I love it so much. I'm buying it right now.
No, I could gift it to you. You don't need to buy it. I can literally give you the game for free, like
I don't
right
want
now.
your fucking charity.
Well, I don't
game.
want 4 fucking copies of the game in my inventory.
Okay, I'll let you.
Yeah, just I'll gift it to you after the show. Just shoot it in the Slack. Yeah, Cole, if you want it, I'll give you a copy too. Maybe we'll play it one day. It'd be
Sure.
fun.
Sounds good.
It is so.
You do it next
fucking
week?
Fun.
Yeah,
So fun.
it's good.
Yeah.
Last hour of the show next week. We should fire it up and play.
All right, I'm down.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, I think we answered.
So we're
the
talking about
question.
just the best beat 'em ups.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of named them all: Streets of Rage, Simpsons, Battletoads. You actually.
Which one is your favorite though? Because we never like nailed that down. Which one would you
this-
say your favorite?
It is not a good game. I'm going to start with that statement. Because I know
AKA, don't judge me.
don't judge me for saying this. The game that I've spent the most time with that is a beat 'em up is Batman Forever on like the PlayStation 2. The Batman that had like Mr. Freeze is with Arnold Schwarzenegger, whatever his name is. He was in there. Jim Carrey is the Riddler. The reason that it was my favorite,
Is that the one with like the pit fighter kind of style of fighting, or am I thinking of a different one?
all I
That was
remember,
the one.
goes gone. His power went out. He's out. Oh, you're back. Hello.
Oh, he's
Welcome
back
back.
again. Okay.
That was weird. That was the one.
Oh,
What?
God.
What were we gonna say?
Where the characters looked more realistic than
yes.
normal for that time.
Yes. Yes.
I played the hell out of that
So
game.
did I, dude. I played the fuck out of that game because you could get the combo to like, I think it was definitely the hundreds. I don't know if it got to the thousands, but I would sit there and just like juggle people with Robin to get like the max combo. And for some reason, that's what I don't even remember beating that game. I just sat there and got to like 999 combo as Robin was like, this is the greatest game ever.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of a different game.
Let me try to find video footage of it. I'll show you what it looks like.
Is it the one where no, I'm thinking of a different. The one I'm thinking of was like an AVGN, like Angry Video Game Nerd. Like he did a review of the game, and it was just horrid.
This
It
was
was
not
like
a good game.
photorealistic, like models.
I started off what I was talking about saying this was not a good game. And this is the game
Oh,
right
this okay, not a game. This is what wasn't what I was thinking about.
there. Yeah, it's this bullshit.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah. God, it's been a long time
I
since
love
I've
the
seen
lack
this.
of animation. It's like fist back, fist forward, fist back, fist forward. There's no like in between.
I remember Batman being like the inferior character to play as here. I remember Robin just being so overpowered. But it's been ages since I've seen this.
So that's your favorite beat 'em up, you think?
It's the one that I have the most fond memories about. Like Simpsons,
Sure.
no one you never beat Simpsons because no one had that many quarters as a kid. You just didn't have that much money. It was so hard to try to beat that game unless you
That
had
was
someone that had the key to open it up and give you lives.
That was entire birthday parties at Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Entire birthday parties with like 10, 15 kids, and we'd all just like ask our parents for like the $5, and then once that kid was run out of tokens, we
Yeah.
take their spot.
Yep. That's true.
We beat it. We beat that. We beat now there were two Ninja Turtle beat 'em ups, right?
There's Turtles in Time. And then there was
Multiple, I think.
there was another one. Yeah. Turtles in Time I think was the second one because that came out on like the SNES. If I recall
Okay,
correctly.
because I don't think it was Turtles in Time. I think the one I played was
There was
like the original
Rise-
one.
Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Totally Turtles, TMT Monsters vs Mutants. There were a few different ones.
Huh.
Was it?
Turtles in Time was like the one that I always remember as being the definitive like arcade beat 'em up.
The first one was just TMNT in '89.
That's the one I played at Chuck E. Cheese. It was 4 players, TMNT, and it had I remember like the April like on the top like animated card
Yeah.
with the title on it. I remember like April O'Neil being like by like a van or something, and she had like her hand up and she had a video camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I remember
that's
that
the one I played.
Yep.
One of my fondest memories when I was in middle school, the summer between middle school and high school. My brother worked at a GameWorks. Much like how I played DDR, I had the Infinity card, and they had a bunch of these old arcade machines. So like Turtles in Time, Battletoads, X-Men, like all those games, they had like a retro area. And that was the only time I ever beat them is when I had like an Infinity card to sit there and play for however long it took, an hour or 45 minutes. It was good stuff because I never beat those as a kid because it was, like I said, you had to have so much fucking money in order to do so. Or you were the host of a birthday party and the guy would come over with the key and open up the cabinet and like hit the button 20 times to give you a bunch of lives. That was the only time.
Man, it would be a tough one, but I'd honestly have to go that like my favorite beat 'em up would be X-Men.
Yeah.
Just it felt like the Simpsons and Turtles were like that's kid stuff, that's cartoon stuff. X-Men comic book shit, which was a little bit older. So I felt a little bit older, like playing that.
Do you
more of an
remember,
adult.
Zeke, do you remember the X-Men game for the Game Gear?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That was the first console I ever broke. Because the X-Men game for the Game Gear was so difficult that I remember being, I don't know, however old I was. And I took that Game Gear and I fucking chucked it across the room.
I cannot fucking believe you said that.
Why?
It wasn't me. It wasn't me, but it was one of my really close friends from elementary school growing up. Yeah, I came over to his house one day,
Yeah.
and his mom said, "Brian cannot play today." I was like, "Why not?" It's like, "Because he's in trouble." Found out the next day, like, "Dude, what happened?" And he goes, "I was playing X-Men. I punched my Game Gear and broke it."
Yeah, dude. It was
Like he was like, "Pow!" And I saw it too.
It
like,
was
cracked the entire screen.
God. I found out much after the fact that game was just unbelievably difficult. Like it was one of the hardest fucking games on the Game Gear. And I had no idea. It was just I thought it was cheap, but it's just a fucking difficult game. I wonder if what that would look like to go back and like play that in today's day and age if I could stomach it. I just remember
I've done that to one game.
Yeah?
There's one game that I physically destroyed when I was growing up.
What was that?
Final Fantasy 3 NA.
Really?
The worst part, it wasn't even my game.
Wait,
Dude,
It was a dark
that's
time.
so much worse. I can't tell you how many times I've broken something that wasn't mine and just was like, "Oh."
how'd you break it?
It was a dark time. How'd I break it? There's this fight involving this train.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And this was before I knew how to play games properly. And I tried to fight like a bunch of times and I just couldn't get it. And then I had this one attempt where I got the guy to like one hit left, basically. I used like whatever little scan ability was, and I was like, one hit, awesome. And then I attacked with the character and he missed.
Oh yeah.
And then the train did some move and killed my entire party.
Mm-hmm.
And I just walked over to my Super Nintendo the whole time going, nope. Without turning it off, I just popped it right out. I just pulled it out of the top.
So
I just went, nope. And I just threw it against the wall.
I don't know if I've told this story on the show. I always forget, but it's been 200 episodes. But Final Fantasy VI is the only Final Fantasy game I've never beaten. I've played through it 3 different times as a kid. Every time I got to the last boss, a sequence of events occurred to where my save was deleted.
Oh no.
What?
The first time, I was very close to fighting Kefka, like the final fight, like the 3-tiered fight. And my brother came in the room and did exactly what you just said and pulled the game straight out of the SNES and it deleted the save. The second time, I had just gotten to the final area where your party splits up into 3 different parties. And my brother jokingly said, because he thought I had just saved it. And I was like in the act of saving. And he hit the eject button as the game was saving and it deleted the saves.
So I did the same thing, basically.
The same thing. The third time, I got to the end of the game, right into the beginning of Kefka Tower, and it was due back to Blockbuster the next day, and I couldn't rent it again.
Oh no!
I've never finished the game. I don't know what the ending of that game looks like. It's my favorite one.
It's got to be some sort of charity, like incentive or something. Like
finish the
gotta
game.
Be like you finish that game.
Well, it would be like finish the game while your brother sits there and watches you or something.
I am up in a chair next to you.
What does your brother do these days, JP?
In terms of like a job?
Yeah.
He works as not like a copy editor. It's a very unique job, so I don't want to go into it too much. But he kind of works in like the printing business, basically.
What you need to do is you need to sneak into his job when he's about done with one of his projects. You need to run up to his computer with a magnet and just be like, woo, 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 and then just run. Just leave.
Oh man, yeah. He brings.
Don't even tell him you're coming. Just run into the building at max speed. Oh man.
We talk about that quite often in recent years because he's always like, man, remember when I deleted your save? That was really fucked up. And I said, yeah. You remember when he did it the second time? He goes, yeah, that was even more fucked up. And I'll just laugh because it was good stuff. It was good stuff.
Man.
Yeah, it's fine. I tortured him for the longest time. I probably deserved it. I threw Hot Wheels at his door and like got him stuck in it and shit. It was fucked up. We were good brothers growing up. Anyways, yeah, I need to finish that game one day because it's my favorite one. Like I know exactly you were fighting Doom Train with Sabin and Shadow, and it was a difficult fight the first time through for sure. Like you got to suplex the train. You got to call the dog. You got to get Kit. What was the dog's name? Kit. Can you name the dog? It's been a while. Enforcer.
Dude,
it was Enforcer.
So long. I played that game.
That's the name of the dog. Was Enforcer. Interceptor. That's what it was. Was it Enforcer or Interceptor? I remember both. I think it was Interceptor. Oh well.
I wish I remembered.
Oh well. Anyways, that's our show. We don't have anything else to say. Now I'm all sweaty and heated about that Final Fantasy save being. There's some PTSD, I guess.
I'm still freaking out about the Wasp internally, so we're good. We're
Dude, fuck. Again, if that happened to me, the show would have ended. I would have ended the room. I would have shut both doors, and I would have said, "Aaron, I need you to go do something for me." And I would have gone upstairs until it was removed from the room. So, yeah. Cool. Let's do some shout outs and we'll get out of here. Zeke, you want to start us off?
I would love to. What's up, everybody? I'm Ezekiel the Third. Thank you for tuning in. Pardon me, I had a hiccup. Thank you for tuning in. 201 episodes in the bag. Thank you to Co and JP for sticking it out as long as we have. Holy fuck. I can't believe it's been that long. How many years does that make? That's a lot of years. That's like
4?
More than one.
Yeah.
I'll
look it up.
If you want to find me, I'm at or / Ezekiel_III. That's on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. In about an hour from now, I will be on twitch.tv/tablestory doing our Nocturne tabletop role-playing show. If you haven't tuned in, today would be a good time to tune in because we're doing something kind of cool, kind of special show today. I won't tell you anything about it, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys check it out at least sometime. If you want to check me out playing video games, I will be on tomorrow at noon Pacific, and I will be finishing up the Nonary 999, all of the different things that I won't spoil, and all of the different stuff, and I will get it all of it, so I can get the whole thing. So that's tomorrow at noon. And then after that, I don't know what game I'm playing after that. Maybe I'll play Resident Evil Code Veronica since I have that. I don't know why I have that sitting right there. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll play a CD-ROM game. Who the fuck knows? But I'm certainly not going to be playing Dragon Quest. That's all I got.
All right. I had to mute myself because I was erupting in laughter. Are you ready to see what the pilot episode looked like in the first seconds?
Oh, good
and
Lord.
Also, do you remember that do you remember the Munsters? Do you remember the kid from the Munsters with the giant beard? Do you remember that episode? You'll see.
The what?
Because he was in the first episode of Drop Frames. There on the far right.
Oh
yeah. Look at the lighting on that too.
Man? Oh my god.
Had a big old goatee.
What the fuck?
My long hair.
What is that beard?
Oh yeah, the face mic. Fuck yeah, dude. Look at that's about 100 pounds ago too.
What happened to it?
I don't know, man.
Look at that beard, man. Look at Jesus.
That's all I knew of you. This was Co for how many years? Like that was.
Oh, dude, I didn't shave my beard for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's even crazier is like these days, I can't imagine having a beard that long. I look at that and it feels like a lifetime ago. Wow.
It is kind of weird. It is kind of weird.
I gave my beard to Zeke, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, we switched beards.
Oh yeah, the positions changed. Is what the fuck are you guys? The positions kind of changed on
I
the show.
love your old camera angle, which was like down here.
Yeah, was
Like,
it below your
oh,
monitor? How
Dude,
did you
yeah, I
work that?
think in my old house, my camera was under my monitor and my monitor was higher. So now I have two monitors and it's in between them. So yeah, it's a completely different angle now. Also, apparently, I'm no longer a living dead person.
yeah, the
that's
fucking
good.
saturation was
Yeah,
a little
that's great.
off, right?
Apparently,
Alan?
now I'm sitting here wondering, like, are all my old VODs looking like that? Like, did I really just not understand how to do saturation for like 3 years? Probably, yeah.
Hold
Oh,
on.
God.
I want to show you guys what I was talking about. Chat's saying yes, they do. They all look like that. This is
thanks,
the
chat.
image.
The undead hobo. Oh, good. Thanks.
Wait, where did that save to?
I'm definitely, I'm pinker. I have mine turned up, like.
Yeah. Now,
I look
see
at
what
them-
happened is because I was
more
too low and
normal.
you. Oh my God.
It's a splitting goddamn image. That's what I was talking about.
God, yes, dude, that is so perfect.
How does the kid have more complete facial hair than you?
I don't know. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Look
Hold
at
on.
the monster, dude.
Let's just. There we go.
Wow.
It's 1-to-1, man.
Beautiful.
Crazy.
That is beautiful, man.
It's great.
Beautiful.
I also like that this is production note. We had to like transition back in the day on the first episode. That's
Yeah,
gone
man.
away.
You had stingers.
Yeah. We didn't have a game portal though.
Do
Or
we not
like
have stingers now?
No, we just have fade in, fades out. We have more animated stuff like this shit on the
We didn't have any game. We didn't have any like game footage cam.
No, there's no.
Did
We
we?
Like, look
talked.
at the bottom right and left right now. Like we got some pizzazz this time around.
Yeah,
Like we got some animations and stuff.
yeah we talked for almost 3 hours without showing gameplay. Crazy.
Well, hold on. I got.
You know what did we talk about that episode?
I don't know. Let's see if it's. on
That's
the
what I want.
comments.
Like what was our I'm curious what like our first I'm gonna have to go back and look now. I wonder what we talked about back then.
Oh my God! Do you know what we? According to the comments, do you know what we talked about? Witcher 1 versus Witcher 2.
Oh shit!
No. What? Really?
Someone said, I disagree with the discussion on Witcher 1 versus Witcher 2. The major difference is combat. Combat in 1 is freaking terrible. It's really bad. 2 actually has a decent combat system. Zeke, what are you doing? He's fallen into the abyss. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what we talked about.
Witcher 1 is better? Well, he's right. The combat in Witcher 1 was I love Witcher 1. The combat was terrible. As long as you only use the mouse though. That's the secret to Witcher 1. Only use the mouse and it becomes totally bearable and like it's so much better. Saying. To bring back a 3-year plus old, discussion.
That might be our
Never
eternal
Never
argument.
mind.
What were we trying to do, Zeke? His headset's not on. What were you trying to do?
Everything's so fucking buried. What was I trying to do? I was trying to, like, I have a co-hat.
What?
Oh, I
Have a
know
coat.
from your picture.
Oh, beanie. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know where the fuck I put it.
I don't even have a Kobe
Not even
anymore.
now.
You don't have any beanies left?
I've got a Monokuma plushie.
Well, things have changed. Do some shout outs.
As always, guys, thank you so much for being here this week on our 201st episode.
201.
My English properly. Thank you guys for being here. It's been fun. As always, a big thanks to Zeke and JP. Hi, nice to meet you if I haven't yet. My name is Ko. I'm going to be playing tomorrow Wolfenstein and tomorrow afternoon finishing Danganronpa 2. Then Friday, we're probably going to do Wolfenstein and my very first look at a Fire Emblem game ever will be the new one this Friday. Then coming up next week, you're going to see probably an attempt at that Zero Escape game. Going to see how that is. We're probably going to wrap up Wolfenstein, a lot more Fire Emblem if it grabs me. And yeah, it'll be fun. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. Have a great rest of your week and see you next week. Or probably another show, but at least some gaming. Hopefully.
Yeah, we might do some Chronicles of Mystara. Zeke, have you found it? Should we just end the show? Are you done?
No, end the show.
End the show.
No,
All right,
I don't
we're
know
outta
where the
here.
fuck I put it. It used to be like really handy right here. I don't know where the hell it went.
I don't know.
It upsets me.
It upsets me as well. I'm upset for you. We're upset.
Next week.
Good.
Next week.
Yeah.
You can bust it
Next
out.
week,
I'll try to find one too.
I'll have it.
Yeah, just get another one by next week. So we're
Oh
good.
man, I'm sad now. Okay.
All right. That's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you next week on some more drop frames. Have a good one. Bye-bye.